So our infrastructure supports training and inference for Grok, which has emerged as one of the world's most advanced frontier models. No, it hasn't. Grok is designed as a truth-seeking AI model built on our founder Elon Musk's mission to enable humanity to understand the universe.
It is a frontier model in the sense that it's racist, so you have to give it that much.
Well, it's a frontier model in the sense that they occasionally make it racist, but then they just rerun, they appear to do another release of it that gets trained again, and then all the mecha Hitler stuff goes away. Then someone's like, hey, Grok, what's the smartest race? And it's like, that's a biological fiction, and then Elon has to reweight it again. But we believe that accomplishing this mission requires a truth-seeking approach to AI. We define truth-seeking as the active, relentless pursuit of what is objectively true about reality, grounded in evidence, logic, blah, blah, blah. So, November, to go back to something you said at the beginning.
Yes.
The purpose of a system is what it does. Elon loves to publicly announce and miss launch targets. It might be a fetish. We don't know. Second of all, is that, as I said, he's the little lady who swallowed the fly in as much as he bought Twitter. And then he was like, oh shit, Twitter has lost a bunch of money. The small number of people who I consider to be human also lost money on Twitter with me. I need to do something. Fortunately, there's this AI boom, and I can have Twitter get bought by XAI, right? And then XAI is a money furnace because he spends billions of dollars.
Yeah, I'm getting the sense from whenever Elon does any of these sort of corporate restructuring things, it's like someone trying to reassemble a set of matryoshka dolls, and also part of the table is covered in turds.
Yes, absolutely. It's they are randomly squished.
Just very clumsily jamming these things together. You know, you don't know what you're getting. It could be another doll, could be some shit. We don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of this. It's mostly turds. It's mostly the whole point of this really is to pack the outermost layer of a matryoshka doll with the turds, and then he keeps all the innermost layers for himself and his friends.
I mean, what's frustrating for me is I was trying to work out a thing about the sort of AI equivalent of if you make that face too long, it'll stay that way, it'll freeze that way. That basically Grok is like the racist version of making Google's AI do the bog pervert voice. But now you're talking about the matryoshka doll full of turds. And it's starting to venture into a different kind of pervert territory, and it's like that is fitting with what one knows about Elon Musk and his personality. But I guess for me, I just keep, every time I hear about any of his supposed adventures, it's like, it's going to fry the birds, rocket exploded, racist website that people don't really use anymore. And yet financial markets just apparently love it.
He is the world's all-time champion of running across a river on the backs of alligators without losing a leg. The thing is that the fact that you've done that for a long time doesn't mean that you're immune to alligators. And there's a certain survivor bias because there's undoubtedly a million assholes just like him who lost a leg earlier on. And I'm relatively confident that he's going to lose a leg at some point. I mean, you know, as they say in finance, anything that can't go on forever eventually stops.
Yeah. I mean, I was reading a lot about this. And I was reading industry commentators as well, people like Ben Thompson at Stratechery, who are they were broadly supportive of this. And he says, well, yeah, it doesn't seem to make any sense. And he seems to be wanting to do the impossible. But Tesla promised to do a bunch of stuff. They didn't do it. And it was quite valuable in the end. So it's like, OK, all right, sure. It also did crash quite considerably. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because what happened is Morgan Stanley, crazy, wasn't that or companies like Deloitte or whatever weren't that interested in buying the Chud AI. And so Grok, I mean, none of them make money, but Grok especially doesn't make money. Extra doesn't make money.
What's wrong? Why don't you want to buy Mecha Hitler?
Now, on the plus side, if Morgan Stanley was actually doing queries, given that they lose money on every customer, they would be losing more money than they are now.
That's true. Through a very, very complex bit of financial engineering, every time we do a Git pull, we are actually going bankrupt. But basically, Chud AI gets absorbed into SpaceX, and this is just taking a loss-making thing, inserting it into a larger thing, and then inserting that into a larger thing until the losses keep getting hidden because they become rounding errors in the larger and larger firms. And then the whole point is to make the biggest matryoshka doll full of turds itself look like it actually has matryoshka dolls in it.
Yeah, it's like, this is the dumbest possible shell game. It's like the guy doing the thing with the thing under the walnuts, except he noisily eats it in front of you.
You're never gonna guess.
He's half choking on it and still trying to get you to play the shell game.
Where do you think the red queen is?
My throat is full of paper cuts from the inside.
Yeah, it's your 3-card Monty, and he doesn't stop eating the cards.
I've got to stop coming up with like Byzantine sort of rigging card game metaphors, but I can't. I can't
Or you have
help
to get
it.
on the podcast about the scams. I mean, one or the other.
So the valuation, like we say, it's like 54 times earnings. Facebook was something like 11 when it IPO'd in 2011. This is crazy.
I think anyone should be allowed to do this. I mean, I know technically anyone can claim anything, but I would like to have the opportunity to have like a government filing where I could be like, yeah, I reckon I'm worth 8 trillion quid.
I mean, that's just Masayoshi's son, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once you cross a certain threshold, everyone needs you. So you're allowed to just make it up. I mean, a huge part of this story is how much everybody needs this, who's supposed to be regulating or who's supposed to be guardrails, needs him and a massive amount of money that he thinks that he's going to help them suck from one another. And so everybody's allowing him to break every rule.
It's fantastic. And I think it's sort of just cosmic punishment in this sense that Elon isn't just bad at his job, you know, but necessary despite that. He's also very annoying.
I mean, when the world's most annoying man owes you $40 billion, that's his problem. But when he owes you $1.4 trillion, that's your problem.
You're going to have to hang out with him. But basically, this valuation is justified a few different ways. They say they have a total addressable market of everything and everyone.
Yeah, I guess that's true in the sense that if you're going to space and you're starting from Earth, your two sort of like business involved areas are Earth and everywhere that isn't Earth. So
Yeah.
He does say he wants to build a Dyson sphere and use all the photons emitted by the sun to power his AI. So,
well, I want a pony, but like I don't think that it's necessarily very practical.
That's one of the things I also find most annoying is that he will say, well, I want to use all of the photons emitted by the sun as opposed to just the sun.
Right.
He will always use 6 words where one will do in order to sound more autistic.
But also, it's just like this is
stolen autism balance.
This must sound so fucking cool if you're a complete idiot. But it's like, surely you always want to believe. And I know it's the whole point of this show is that, like, despite all the evidence that you would expect people to take into consideration, capital markets are dumb as shit when it comes to valuations. But you would think that some of the things that he's claiming, like, surely at some point they're like, yeah, that's just that's space elevators, Dyson spheres, photon AI, data centers in space. Like, it's just not possible. You'd think.
So the way the document is set up is that there are a few things that are like legally defensible, or the claims that he have things he's going to do that are specifically related to the addressable market, which is specifically related to the valuation, and some things that are just about narrative and fun and energy that try to make you feel good that are like that are in like a 4th section. So there's 3 businesses. There's Starlink, which is an actual business. It's not a $1.75 trillion business, but it does something.
Yeah, it's an effective like blackmail lever on the Ukrainian military and the American military sometimes.
I know people who live on the French side of the border, like in rural areas, and Starlink's the thing. Like, people use because you can't get high-speed broadband out there.
Yeah.
If only there was a way to get wires around in France.
It's one of those things. It's like, I'm sorry, but you could just. It's one of those things where you can understand the use case, but like the idea that it's going to be as profitable as he expects.
Well, and wires, it's like running wires from A to B. It's like building pyramids without power tools. Like, we just don't know how to do it anymore. That's something that they did a long time ago.
They actually they managed to convince the glass to just form itself that way to make fiber optics, but like it's actually it's like the sum of knowledge is buried and has to be rediscovered. Nothing new can be invented. So
basically, the SpaceX thing, they think, number one, they think their total addressable market for Starlink is everyone who uses internet connectivity, including, by the way, they think we could probably replace all of wired connectivity as well.
Oh, that's handy. Okay.
There's a problem here, which is that physics hates radio-based internet, right? Because we only have one electromagnetic spectrum, and 2 people using it in the same place are sharing it. And you can keep raising how much energy you're pumping into the electromagnetic spectrum, but then birds start falling out of the sky fully cooked. Whereas like every insulated wire has a smaller electromagnetic spectrum, but it's one that's fully non-interacting with the next insulated wire.
I can't wait to live in Dark City with fucked up slow internet. Like,
I mean, it's amazing that they've married the world's shittiest unit economics, which is AI, with another thing that has shitty unit economics, which is satellite-based communications. We have giant footprints that are all shared by a single group of customers, and every new customer you sign up gets angrier with you.
Well, the other thing is you have to replace the Starlink satellites at a rate of 20% a year because they fall out of use pretty quickly.
Oh,
because
I assume that doesn't pose any problems, though.
And to be fair, fiber does go bad after a couple of years. I mean, we've all had to replace our windows every 2 years because the silicon just wears out.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. Yeah, you have to replace. I mean, look, every brick in my house, it has a little timer on it as to when it gets replaced.
You have that Theseus fellow come over.
Yeah, exactly. Builds his ship. So, but anyway, these are the kinds of mad calculations that he's doing. And by the way, Starlink, it's the most reasonable one of these three lines of business. It's the one that's most an actual thing with an actual use case.
The one that incidentally kills ground-based astronomy.
Yeah, exactly.